Hello everyone and welcome on back to the channel. As always, thank you all so much for clicking the video and joining me on another one. So within today's video, it is going to be all about budgeting out my final paycheck for the month of July. And it's going to be an exciting one because it is my magic month paycheck. So if you are interested in seeing how I budgeted out this extra paycheck, then just keep on watching. All right, so as I said, I will be working with the paycheck that I received right here on July 30th. If you are not familiar about what a magic month is and what an extra paycheck is, basically it happens twice a year if you are paid bi-weekly, where we are paid 3 times in 1 month. And if you budget out your money correctly, you can utilize this paycheck as an extra paycheck. And a lot of people use it to build their savings, get a month ahead, throw money at debt. So it's a very useful paycheck, and that's why we really enjoy it when it comes. But if this happens to be your first time here on the channel, let me take a minute and introduce myself. My name is Monet and I am 24 years old. And here on this channel, I deal with all things budgeting. I am really trying to better manage my money and become financially free. And I am learning to do that with the help of the cash envelope system. And I'm eliminating my debt with the debt snowball method. So if you would like to learn more about that, and that sounds like something you would be interested in watching, then please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the family. I would love to have you. And as always, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video. But now that we have all been introduced and we know exactly what we are doing, let's go ahead and get started with budgeting out the paycheck. All right, everyone, so we are back at my paycheck budget breakdown sheet. As always, all of the sheets that you see me use within my channel, I do create myself, and I have them available for a digital download if you are ever interested in using them. The link for that is within my Etsy shop, and that is always down below in the description box. So what I always do is I go ahead and write down all of the categories that we're dealing with, and then we go over the amounts together. So when it comes to this paycheck number 3, I have a little bit of explaining to do on how I decided to allocate my money. You know, as the month progressed, things came up and I decided that I was going to treat myself a little bit with this paycheck. I had the intention of throwing as much as I can towards my debt and eliminating it, but I feel like I deserve a little fun in my life, so I did splurge a little bit on expenses that I probably normally wouldn't do. So getting into that, if we look over here under my expense column, these are all things that I do not take physical cash out for. I just leave them within my checking account. So the first expense that we see, it is for concert number 1. Now, if you do not know me, one thing about me is that I really enjoy music and I love shows. Before the pandemic and everything was locked down, I always made it a point to go see Broadway shows, Broadway musicals. That's just something that I really enjoy, and I love to go see music live. So, of course, since the pandemic happened, we didn't have a lot of opportunity to do so, but my cousin did reach out to me and informed me that one of our favorite rappers is going to be performing at a concert, and she already knew that I could not say no. So we did buy some concert tickets to go see him, and that is what concert number 1 is. So we did splurge a little bit because we wanted some good seats. So the price for our tickets came to $145 each. So I will be putting aside $145 to cover for concert number 1. Now, then within that same week, my best friend reached out to me and said that one of her favorite performers is putting on a concert. I'm not a big fan of her, but you know, my best friend listens to her, so I know her music, and my best friend asked if I wanted to go see a concert with her as well, and I didn't want to say no, so that is what concert number 2 is. And for those tickets, she charged it on her card, but I owe her $50 for paying for the tickets, so I'm going to put aside $50 to cover for that. And after that, the last expense that we have is for gas for my car, so that will be $30. And those would be all of the total for my expenses. So if we total all of this up, it comes to $225 for that category. So the next thing that we move on to is the cash portion. So another big thing about this extra paycheck is that you have to look ahead, especially if you split your bills in the way that I do, and make sure that you are covering all of your expenses that may be due within the next month or so. One expense that I did have to cover within this paycheck so I'm not behind when my next bill is due is my car insurance. So I will be putting aside the first half of my car insurance, which is going to be due in August 25th, and I'm going to put aside $100 for that. After that, for my cash, it's all of the things that I keep regularly within my wallet. So spending is going to get $40, groceries will be getting the usual $100, toiletries is getting $45. For clothing, I did decide to give myself $30. I wanted to bump it up a little bit just so I can get clothes, as I said, for work, since we might be going back into the office. But how the world is going, I don't know, that might not be a thing. But just in case we do return to the office, I wanted to bump up my clothes a little bit so I have something to wear. And then for eating out, that's going to be $20 for that. All right, so if we total up everything within the cash column, that brings me to $335. All right, so the next thing that we're going to move on to are my sinking funds. My sinking funds, I don't normally fund with my full-time paycheck. I try and cover that with my side income, but in a case where I won't make it, I will use my full-time paycheck. So one of the sinking funds that I'm going to be adding money towards is my annual payments. I'm going to add $100 to that. And then after that, I don't know if I'm going to actually create it or I'm just doing it for just now, but it's for events. I think that's what I'm going to call it. As I told you guys before, I really enjoy shows and musicals and events and all that stuff and going out. So in preparation of me going to these concerts, I know most likely I'm going to be spending food, buying merchandise. So just to help me with my spending when that does happen, I'm going to give myself $100 and I'll probably add more to this envelope as the paychecks come in. But I am debating starting a new events sinking fund. But again, I don't know if the world is actually completely opening up again. So I don't know if I'm being a little optimistic with creating that envelope right now. So now if we go to my sinking funds and total up all of this, that will be $200 for everything in that category. Now we move over to my extra debt section. So this is what I consider my debt snowball and any extra payments that I can put towards my Great Lakes, which is my current debt or my only debt, and it's for my student loans. So from this paycheck, I feel like I still put a good amount aside for my debt, even though I put my money in other places. But from debt, I will be putting aside $600 from this paycheck. And then the last thing that I have is my savings. So to complete my savings challenge for the month and to put me at my goal of $340, I am still short $150. So I will be putting $150 aside from my savings. And then my rollover is what I call my buffer or my cushion. I always put aside $5, so that's not going to change. And now to get my final total amount that I will be withdrawing from the bank today, I'm going to add the $335 plus the $200 plus the $600 plus the $150, giving me a grand total of $1,285 that I will be taking out of the bank. So all in all, I always love these extra paychecks. I wish we can get them every month, but of course it wouldn't be special if we did. But nevertheless, I'm still happy with the way I allocated my funds, and that's always what I love about budgeting. It's personal and you do what you feel is right for yourself. So now that I have the money and the totals, I'm just going to figure out my denominations and then head to the bank and get my cash. And once I return, we'll get started with stuffing my envelopes. All right, everyone, so I have returned from the bank and I got the envelope right here for us. So let's go ahead and open this up. And here we have the money, and here is the breakdown that I gave to the teller. So I'm just going to lay out our cash and bring you guys back once I'm done. right, everyone, so we are all set up. We got our money laid up at the top as always. Within this binder is where I keep all of my sinking funds and my debt snowball envelopes. Over here are the cash dividers that I keep in my wallet 24/7, and then up here are the cash envelopes for my split bills. So we will get started with my cash envelopes as always. So the first expense we have is our car insurance. Car insurance, we said, is getting $100 for the first half. It is empty, so we will be starting this off with our first $100. When it comes to Great Lakes, we won't be adding money towards this envelope, but we will be adding our extra debt payment towards our debt snowball envelope, and then we'll bring this back because whatever I have left in here, I will include that towards my total as well. But for now, these two cash envelopes are done. So now I can bring over my cash dividers. So when it comes to my cash dividers, I am participating in the dollar challenge. So if I have any dollars within these categories, I do set them to the side and I will add them to my jar. So as for spending is going to be getting $40. So we can do a 20, a 10, and our 2 5s. So that gives us 20, 30, 35, and 40. So we're just going to add this to what I already have. So once we get a total count, now within my spending, I have 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75, 80, 85. $85 is within spending. All right, next we move on to my groceries. So groceries is going to get the usual $100, and I take that out all in 20s. So we should have 5, and that gives us 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And I will just add that to what I have left over. I have no singles. So for as a total within my groceries, I now have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40. So $140, and I have to go grocery shopping this weekend, and that will provide me for the next 2 weeks. After my groceries, we move into toiletries. Toiletries will be getting $45. So 2 20s and a 5. That gives us 20, 40, and 45. And we'll go ahead and add that to what I have. And we have some singles in toiletries, so we can set that to the side. So now within toiletries, I have 20, 40, 50, 55, 60. There we go. I have to pick up some shampoo, so that's the only thing I can think of right now from my toiletries. Following that, it is clothing. So clothing is going to be getting $30, and this should be a good amount to add, giving me a total for my clothing to 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100. All right, so I have $100 within my clothing. Up next after clothing, it is eating out. Eating out is going to be getting $20. So we can do this $20 bill, and I only have $10 left from eating out. So now I have a total of $30. All right. Miscellaneous is empty. As I always say, I just use that to deposit any cash back into my account using the ATM. So as of right now, all of my cash dividers have been stuffed, and I'll just go ahead and add that right into my wallet. Go. And there they go, nicely put in. So the next thing that we can do is put aside our singles and add them to our jar. So for the last 2 weeks, I saved $1, 2, 3 whole dollars for my singles. And we will go ahead and add this to our lovely big jar. And there we go. After my dollar challenge, I also am participating in the coin challenge. So all of my coins that I saved for the last 2 weeks, I will also add them to this jar. All right, there we go. So before we get into my sinking funds within my cash binder, I did just want to put aside the money that I wanted to put for events. I don't actually have an envelope for it as of yet, so I'm just going to put my spending money for my concerts within this envelope. I said I was giving myself $100, so we'll just go ahead and put that in here. And I know for sure this is most likely not enough for everything that I'm going to need, so I'll have to start building up on this. All right, so now we can get into our final step, and that's adding money towards my savings and my debt snowball within our binder. So if we go ahead and open up our binder, we will first go to my savings. So savings is getting $150. So we can do a $100 bill and a 50, giving us $150. And let's go ahead and add that towards our total. So we know we have $1,000 put aside as this placeholder in the bank, but now within actual cash for my savings, I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, $1,000, and then 20, 40, 41, 42. So that is $2,042 that I now have within my savings. So we finally hit the $2,000 mark, which is super exciting. And of course, I will add the $1,000 into the bank, and then I will replace it with another placeholder, just so that we don't have too much cash lying around in the house. But that is so exciting and so amazing. I love seeing my savings build up and seeing the debt go down. It's just so satisfying. All right, but now let's get into the big showstopper of the video and add our $600 that we should have left over for debt. So let's make sure that's what I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, you know what? I forgot to add $100 towards my annual payments. That's what I forgot. Okay, so I wanted to add $100 towards annual payments from my sinking funds as well. So now within annual payments, I have 100, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90. So I have $290 within my annual payments. There we go. And now I should have my $600 for my debt snowball. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, there we go. That's why we count, so we catch ourselves when we make mistakes. So let's go ahead and take out all of this money within our debt snowball envelope. We're going to add that to our total. And then also, as I mentioned, anything within this envelope will count towards our debt. So we will add 100 and add our 20s. So there we go. Now is the exciting part where we will get my final count for my debt snowball payment for the month of July. All right, so that is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, $1,000. Then I have 100, 200, 300, and then I'm gonna add a 10 to make that another 100. Okay, so then that's 400. Then we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100. So then that makes 500. And now we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. So that is $1,528 that I am making for a debt snowball payment. Oh my goodness. It's nice to do these big payments, but then it's like, ugh, it's going towards debt. But that's fine. One day I will be able to keep all of this cash myself. But right now, we have to get rid of that debt. So I will definitely be making the payment for this towards the end of the week. And I'm just going to put this back into the envelope. So then I know when I go to the bank to deposit all of this cash and make an extra debt snowball payment. But there we have it, guys. That is how I decided to use my extra paycheck for the month of July. Be sure to leave any comments of how you used your extra paycheck if you were fortunate enough to get a magic month. Also, leave down in the comments any feedback or anything that you really enjoy within this video. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up because that definitely helps and supports the channel. And if you made it all the way to the end and you are enjoying the content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join the family so you do not miss where I go next. But as of right now, guys, I really hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you all next time in my next video. Bye, guys.